Hello! Sorry if there's a problem with the noise. So, I am Nicholas DE, that's Elemental Ember if you didn't know that. Today I am going to talk about Pokemon. And more specifically, is Pokemon now becoming a problem? Well, I believe a little that it is. And there's a good reason for it. For any of you get an opinion, listen. So, the main thing, currently, that is a big issue, are Pokemon cards. Now the reason I say that is that the Pokemon cards specifically have been hit with a current rule that essentially makes them no longer able to be sold to a certain amount due to how much some of them are worth without you essentially getting taxed on them. That and scalpers are just getting worse. Because stores are not giving limits on how many of the product can be sold. Especially not in big retailers. So when stuff comes out, these things get snapped up by people worse than the jokes that people make of how bad it is in Black Friday. I mean, I am honestly surprised people haven't been trampled to death, or kids haven't been thrown over aisles, or just people in general have been thrown over aisles for people to get out of the way just so that others, specifically scalpers, can get a hold of Pokemon products to then oversell. Because it is really becoming a problem. I'm not saying this in a joking manner, I'm saying this literally where when you've seen the videos of just it happening anywhere, it is ridiculous. There are people tearing apart those big pallet boxes just to get at the stuff the moment that it has been put out. They are literally surrounding it. Like back in the ye old days when we were cavemen ready to hunt down the mammoth. Only minus the spears, but I'm pretty sure if this was in a B&Q, we would have rakes. I say that jokingly, of course, but it would happen. I honestly wouldn't surprise me. It is getting ridiculous. Really, truly ridiculous. And it is becoming a real problem, I feel, in my opinion. I am not stating this as fact. I am stating this by how I truly feel. And before anyone forms an opinion on my opinion, please do look at the facts of how bad it is getting. Because when you've seen the ridiculousness of it, and how ridiculous it is, and how problematic it gets, I mean, I can't even go to Game right now, while it is, closing down some of its stores, and still selling cards, because certain Pokemon-related clubs are just buying out the Pokemon stuff immediately. My nephews have just started getting into the Pokemon TCG, and they're only about 5-6 years old at the moment, but they are really interested in it, and getting product to give them as being an uncle and whatnot, and that is almost impossible. I cannot go anywhere unless I go onto websites and whatnot and that, and either buy individual packs or buy entire boxes. But I'm not going to buy an entire box just so they give them one by one. I'm going to give them. Actually, might be a good idea, to be fair. I might do that. But it's still getting really ridiculous that I cannot go in, or when it is convenient for me to go into a store, and because there's just no Pokemon products whatsoever being sold. And the worst part is, places that don't even sell Pokemon cards are now selling Pokemon cards. There are card shops, not cards as in TCGs, as in Mother's Day, birthday cards, and such like that. Cards that you open up on Christmas or your birthday to find money or something inside. Or just have like a little thing inside that starts playing a song when you open it. Or just has a nice message from your family member that really wants to make it known that they care about you. Those kind of stores are now selling Pokemon cards. And it is getting ridiculous that Pokemon cards are now becoming so immediately sought after. I mean, I get it. I get that the game is quite interesting in that. But there are some people that are so unintelligent when it comes to it. I tried to have a conversation once where I said in my own opinion that I like to want this one Mamoswine card better because it just felt better in my opinion. And this was an entirely just me being subjective, you know, adding my own opinion by the two different cards. But being subjective themselves, they went off at me, saying, no, definitely, it's fact. Well, no, that is. I'm like, no, that's not objective. That is subjective. Completely. To your entire thing. And then they said something ridiculous to me that honestly made me want to bang him around the head multiple times with a frying pan until his head was the same shape. And that was that subjective and objective thoughts have no meaning in a conversation about opinion. Opinion is nothing but subjective or about objective things. That is what it is. How can you be so ridiculously stupid? You are either subjective or talking about something objective. An opinion about an objective truth. Or subjective about something that you have your own thoughts and feelings about. How can you not understand simplistic English? Well, no, you learn this in GCSEs, even before that. It is ridiculous that you can't have a conversation with people because they will take subjective and activate as objective and just say stupid things like that. It doesn't matter if 1,000 people play as one specific deck. If you're playing God of War, you're essentially playing Gooners because people have such ridiculous thoughts about stupid things like Pokemon. I mean, it's honestly, it's ridiculous. I mean, even the fact is that people saying, oh, it's the baby form or something like that. Yeah, in some cases, yes. Actual baby forms like Magby and Pichu. But stuff like Routes, Nidoran, and whatnot, they are pre-evolutions. In other words, what we used to be before we were the human race. They are not children in that kind of sense or whatnot. That they are specifically a younger evolution. That doesn't make them on the same rallying form as a 5-year-old compared to a mid-stage being a teenager. That's not what it's supposed to be. That's not the entire idea behind evolution. Or at least that's not what it's supposed to be. If that's how Pokemon's playing it, then they really need someone really needs to get shot in the head because there are problems there. Okay, evolution runs in a certain way and people are just soaring out of the sky with it. But it's just getting ridiculous that you cannot have it because now even communities are becoming toxic. You cannot have conversations or state your opinion. I don't play Pokemon anymore because of 3 things. 1, I want to play a Bulbasaur deck. I either have to wait for a Bulbasaur to come out in the newest series and its evolutions and stuff and hope that it's actually good. And if I want to use older versions, people usually don't want to play against it because there are other cards. Oh, it ruins my deck because it's thinking that. They just don't want to play. And even if you want to play Legacy versions, nobody plays Legacy. I mean, I basically got rid of all my Pokemon cards. I just said I can't stand the game anymore. I would honestly rather play Commander or Legacy and Magic the Gathering because people still actually play those. Or Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I still play Yu-Gi-Oh! There are a lot of problems with it, yes, but at the same point, I still enjoy it with the few people that I can enjoy it with that aren't just, oh yeah, I'm going to play a casual game, here's a deck that's just going to kill you in the first turn. That's not casual. You got to say someone casual and they bring out that, they are not playing casual, they are just playing screw you. If you want to play casually to test out a deck, that is an entirely different thing. But you want to play pure casual, you're playing a deck that's a slugfest, that is not just going to immediately end someone's deck in an instant. Or just plays an overly fluid amount of things and that, and just basically you're sat there for 40 minutes thinking, well, at the end of this, I'm dead, no matter what. Within this time, I think I could very easily knit a sweater. That is how ridiculous it feels. So yeah, I currently feel that Pokemon is being a bit of a problem right now. I mean, other than the fact that they've ruined the animation by making it the way that it is now. But Pokemon, it looks so much better in the old Western style where it was sharper. The Eastern style is just horrendous. I just can't watch it. So I haven't really watched it since... I actually can't remember. That far back away, I wasn't that. But yeah, to me, Pokemon is really becoming quite a bit of a problem. The fan base is becoming the main problem, as is scalpers, because they are becoming less and less intelligent, and scalpers are just overselling everything and making it impossible for people to play the game at all, in some cases, unless they literally shell out to have their kidneys removed. It should not be like this to play a game. Places need to put up more, things, rules and regulations for people purchasing product. I mean, of course, there's always going to be someone's going to be able to get around it in some way, shape, or form. They're always going to try and do it. Oh yeah, I'm just going to buy these 3 boxes I'm allowed to, and then I'm going to go out, and then I'm going to go and, I don't know, wear a wig. I don't know, paint my face a different color, made that joke. Send my friends in or whatnot on that, or my credit card. The stupid thing you do on that. People do. They'll always find ways to get around it. There will always be stuff that people can and will do, because when they want something, they will get it. And for scalpers, it's that. But no, they didn't even like the word scalpers. No, resellers. I was like, no. A reseller is somebody who purchases a product that is second-hand, or is going to be second-hand. Like, I don't know, I'm trying to give a good example. There we go, a car. Someone buys a car from a lot and then resells it after fixing it up. You're not fixing it up. You are taking a sealed box and then selling it straight on for 3 times the price. That is not how a reselling works. You take a piece of crap car, you fix it, you make it better, you make it run properly, or you do what Matilda's dad did in the original Matilda film, because the new one sucks, honestly. Why turn a great film into a musical when you remake it? Why? And you just... you get this. You get this, where people are now saying is, but I don't like to be called a scalper. No. You are what you are. We will call you what you are. We don't give a damn what they're gonna. Because you're exactly the same as other specific groups of people that are also causing problems, because they're not making things easy. They are demanding things and that. The idea is that there's clear communication, not a one-sided communication. We really, really do need to reset the clock on ourselves, because we, as we get along, are just becoming dumber and dumber, and I can see it, and a lot of people can probably see it as well, and honestly at this point I'm just ready to watch the world burn, but I am not partaking in a lot of the rubbish that people have been going along with nowadays, because it is getting ridiculous. Specifically being Pokemon, because I refuse to partake in Pokemon unless it's games like Pokemon Go or just the Pokemon games, because you cannot scalp those so easily when you could just buy digital copies, if need be, because you can't buy physical. It is just easier. Those games are the only ones that I will validly play when it comes to Pokemon, just because that's how ridiculous and stupid it is, and I refuse to partake in the madness. So, that is currently my view on Pokemon being a problem right now. I believe, yes, it is. Those are my thoughts, with a little bit of extra one on that, because people are ridiculous and honestly need to vent the frustration. So, I'm going to go bang my head against that wall over there. Preferably the corner, because it'll knock me out faster. But until that point, this is Nicholas the EE signing off.